Uh, yeah, I mean, my intentions are, to make the best use of this hour. I see that you put together a nice agenda, Eduardo, so great, cool, perfect. And my distractions are, I don't have any, so I'm good. I'm here. And what about you, Septimus?
Yeah, my intentions is just to see the document, maybe pick some other tasks on this document. I was having fun. And yeah, my distractions is like none. I'm on the Gibbet house, and yeah, Sam and Santi and Paul are working close. So yeah, awesome. And I'll pass it to Edu.
Thank you. The intentions for this call is what is on the agenda, basically, um, and and yeah, to just have a small talk about or a long talk about these topics and see how we can sort of advance also with document of Hatch handbook. And yeah, that I think that will be my priority for this call is the Hatcher handbook document, and then just a brief update on the spreadsheet of the impact hour stuff if it is needed, and TC scouts. So that's my three main points for today. What about you, Nate?
Hey, sorry I'm late. Yes, my intentions are to go over the Hatcher handbook that I've been working on. I've shared it into the Hatcher Outreach channel right now. I still need to engage with you guys on about the overall approach and finishing up some of the last technical parameters that I'm going over for the Hatcher handbook. So, yeah, just wanted to get your feedback and maybe help me with finishing it off. So yeah, pass back to you, Tam.
Cool. Eduardo prepared the agenda today. I think it's a good agenda. So should we just go through that?
Yeah, go for it.
So toolkit for proposals. What did you have in mind there?
Yeah, so this is a conversation we had with him before today in the morning regarding the fact that we will need some kind of process clarity on the proposals that we are gonna start receiving, or just at least lay out the ground to see how are we gonna respond, or who is gonna take care of that responses and processes. Being more clear, basically, what do we do with proposals right now, if we do something. Right now we have the spotlights. Right now we have the potential of people who will come during the hatch, and the potential of these people to be able to be presented to them proposals that are interesting. Eventually these hatchers will be the one voting on these proposals. So we want to take advantage of the fact that these hatchers will probably have some, or will be eager because of the launch of the hatch. They will be eager to just want to know more. And it's a nice timing for us to sort of take advantage of that, at least with proposals that has been submitted already, to say, hey, here are the proposals, here are the projects, here are the communities. Let's engage, let's talk, let's see how we can sort of answer questions and so on. That's one side. And the other side is that's for the ones submitted. And then we have the side of the ones that has not been submitted yet. So what do we do with this waiting for submissions? Do we define a path? Do we define a topic? So this is, I call it toolkit in the sense of having all the tools necessary for kind of at least receive and handle proposals in the best way possible that doesn't lead to confusion. That's my take on this.
Yeah. I mean, my feedback is essentially that I see that we probably don't have to focus too much on proposals right now. I haven't done a real good inventory of like, hey, what do we have? What is the information we have so far? I saw that there was some communication about how confusion about submitting proposals that IB responded to in the transparency channel. And if I have a quick look at that, yeah, I think it seems pretty straightforward. Maybe we could update some of the content about proposals. This one might be a little out of date, for example. And maybe there's like a very small, very, like we're doing this Hatcher handbook. Maybe there's like a very brief, like here's a checklist for proposals. And so maybe the feedback is fair that we could make something more clear for proposals. I don't know that it needs to be anything near as elaborate as we're doing with the Hatcher handbook. It's not that elaborate, but anything as detailed as we need to do with the Hatcher handbook. But probably the first step is just to be like, hey, what information do we already have about proposals on the forum, and does it need to be updated?
And here, hello, Griff. And here, the other question will be also, who takes care of these updates? Like, do we work with SoftGov on this process, since they will be also necessary to be relevant in this? Like, how do we tackle this proposal aspect?
Yeah, I think it's pretty much falls under the SoftGov domain, and we can ask Livia how she would like to move forward to it. Maybe there's somebody that wants to sort of take it on to do sort of a review and update of any documents around submitting proposals for more clarity and anything that's changed. It's not a bad idea, actually.
Great. Oh, this here.
Griff, in our last meeting, I realized what was wrong. You're sitting down. I was like, who is that guy? I don't recognize him anymore.
I know it sucks. I feel so low energy. I'm gonna change it, but I haven't sorted it out here yet.
Okay.
Right. So there is this aspect of technical aspect, that or review of the cultural maybe build that it's could do stuff. But then we have we were explaining this in the morning time, that the response from Ivy to the question about the proposals, it's about posting and submission, but it doesn't take in consideration the other aspect of engaging, the other aspects of what they can do in the meantime. So yeah, this is also something that we should talk about eventually with Livy. It's about, okay, mission is clear, good. What else? Just to, if there is a what else? No, I don't know. But just to have these things sort of in the loop.
I didn't fully follow that.
Yeah. What we like, Ivy's post of the forum tackles submission and tackles posting on the forum, but it doesn't refer to the cultural aspect or anything else that involved being part of a community. So people right now, they only know that they can propose something on the forum. They don't know what else is in there. They don't know what to do else besides that. So it's I feel it's something that we should like at least have on the mind. I don't think it's a solution for now. I don't think we will find a solution now. But I think we should not leave people just on posting things. That's my bottom line.
You mean like join a community channel, ask for a spotlight to present the proposal, join the Discord. You mean those kinds of things?
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, maybe it's worth just doing a inventory of what information. I just put the link here of what we have and what we need. I'm not even. Yeah, I can see this document's out of date. It refers to a Discord channel that doesn't exist. So that's probably one easy thing we can do, but maybe we could just go look over everything too. When people are coming to find information about proposals, we should have some easy way for them to find it. And I think if we go to the proposals section of Discord, it's probably just like, hey, let's do a quick refresh on some of the instructions we have here.
I think that will work. Does anyone else have something to comment on proposals? You look really bored, Griff.
Well, I just think proposals will come when there's money, and we don't have to. We probably have. Like, I think it's in. I would like to see us actually just find some proposals that we can say no to. It's kind of like the opposite. Like, scouts, when I think of TEC scouts or like basketball scouts, they also just like are like, this player looks good, but it's not. He's not a good fit, So I wouldn't mind some of that.
Actually, since we are on the topic, this is referring to the scouts. We just had the meeting of the scouts with Lauren and with Shui, and then the idea came out of the TC Lounge. The TC Lounge, which is this space, because the scouts, it's about like reaching out, but then after the reach out you do to someone, you need a space, which is the point of the agenda, that says it's common space for interaction in between proposals and hatchers, or in between communities, or in between community and whatever it is. And then the lounge kind of become this space where this can happen. And we talk about a little bit about in the scouts. And it sounds good too. And then basically we talked to Lauren to understand if she wanted to work with, if she want to participate. She said yes. So tomorrow we will start as the first session of work, the first work session related to create documentation that is needed to do this outreaching, to say in a way. So we will start with the manifesto, laying out what documentation do we need, if we need a video, for example, a community video, if we need what we need. So that if you think there is something that should be on the must to present or must know for another community to know about the TEC, you can drop it on the agenda. So we can consider that for tomorrow to add it to our checklist of things that we should present or talk about when doing these community scouting sessions. So that's on that side. Then we also talked with Lauren about two people that she mentioned. The names are Bloom Network Magenta, that's one of the girls, and the other girl is YID Wanderer, which is the Giveth community representative, to sort of invite them to understand how they accomplished what they accomplished. I feel the Giveth is a community that is really like trust build community, and I felt that someone who has a community experience from the Giveth side will be interested to know how she sort of managed these processes with other communities, with the people who were submitting things to Giveth and so on. So I don't know, we just invite them to just have a kind of a small session with them to see what were their feelings, things that work with them, and so on. So yeah, it seems that it's going well, and we are moving forward in a nice direction. I don't know if anyone has any question or feedback on this.
Ashley is wild wanderer, and she's great. That'll be fun.
Right. So if no one says anything, we'll keep going. So we have the next point on the agenda. It's the updates on the document for the impact hours. Tam, can you share your screen if you may? You're muted.
Sure. You want to share, what would you like me to share? Something in particular? The agenda?
No, the impact hour kind of spreadsheet.
Oh, we're not sharing it because it contains the Ethereum addresses.
True. Sorry.
It contains names and addresses, so we're not going to share it. But I did a quick check, and 63% of people with more than 4 impact hours have activated their membership based on the last data. So really, really cool, actually. Seriously, serious congratulations to all of us for that. Yeah, I'm not counting the people with less than 4 impact hours, but there's also a lot of those as well who have. I mean, let's see. That's another. It's another 35 people.
So
yeah. So that's the update.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, I would say we did really well. We Eduardo did a second round of, reaching out to people again, which maybe you could share how successful that was. I think the first push and the second push is sort of like, okay, we basically, and with all the communications that went out, I think the campaign, we could say, is over now. Or just like winding down, ready to end, and the timing is great because we're also ready to hatch.
Yeah, and basically I ping a lot of people in different times from the one I sent the previously message. I have to update the spreadsheet, but most of them were like, "Oh, sorry, I missed this message. Oh, sorry, I didn't have time when you sent me this," and so on. So it was nice to ping some people. There is almost no one above 10 or something impact hours that we have not pinged or doesn't have an answer from them. I think we have had an answer from most of the people that we have, for good or for bad. We have had an answer already. So I think that's pretty much all. And I think it was a very nice kind of exercise to remind people, hey, here we are. and I think we could sort of talk, since we're in the campaign topic, we could talk about eventually the campaign during the hatch from the first week. What are we going to do during the first week? What are we going to send out? If we're going to send out something. I don't know, what were your ideas about this time, if you had any about this first week of hatch.
Yeah, absolutely. The big news, right? Like, it's a boy, it's a girl, that kind of news. So it should be like, here's the Hatcher handbook, because we'll have this nice piece of content. Maybe some fun meme made by someone who can make memes well. And just like going back to this individual one-on-one, to be honest. I've had a number of people in our Hatch Outreach ask, like, can you let me know? And we've been saying, follow us on Twitter, join our Discord. But I think there's a nice element to us going back and reaching out to people again. So I think it'll probably be another one of those, like, 2-week heads down, or like 1 week heads down, just sending out the, we're ready and what the steps are that need to be taken. And this handbook, which is looking great. Do we have that on our agenda, the handbook?
No. Thank you. I think that we will have, I will actually, this is something I would like to know, like, how do we proceed with letting people know, in the sense of which spreadsheet do we use now? Knowingly know, like, do we use as a reference the one who says she's activated only, and these are the only ones we are going to notify?
No, I think look, there's still time to activate your Swiss membership. So that first week is everyone that we've reached out to that showed an interest. And then, if they haven't activated their trusted seed, it would be the time to do it.
That's important. So they will be still able to activate their trusted membership during the first week of the hatch. Correct?
Yeah.
No.
No.
They will not. They will not get impact hours if they do that. They can activate their people with C-Stack can activate their trusted seed, but people with impact hours, but they will, if they had impact hours, they won't get them.
I lost. That's true. But let's say somebody wants to participate in the hatch, and they can still activate their trusted seed membership and still participate in the hatch. But
Yep.
Okay.
No impact hours, because
no impact hours. That's right. Burned.
And until when, like, will this still be available during Commons Upgrade and so on, or the DApp for Trusted Seed membership will close, or we won't be able to?
It'll be, the Trusted Seed membership will be open forever. It's outside of the TEC.
Okay, yeah, I get it. Sorry, I explained my question. Okay.
Where are you guys tracking the people that say no? I'm curious. They're like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna activate. Is that tracked somewhere?
It says declined. Instead of an X in the column, I write declined.
What's the name of
we have 2 people.
Oh, we only have 2? That's not bad.
We only have 2 people who have declined.
That's
Yeah.
like less than 1%.
Well, we have people who haven't activated their trusted seed, so that's a passive decline. But we have the only active declines. Hey, I don't want to. Have been 2 people.
That's amazing. That's an amazing
Okay,
turnaround.
maybe 3, and it had actually a lot to do with not wanting to have the name associated with the Ethereum address in trusted seed versus necessarily anything for the TEC. I think at least with one of them,
Yeah.
Cool.
2 of them.
The other 2, we have like 4 only. The other 2 are the guy that I sent you Griff about. He basically sent a message saying, "Hey, I'm in another journey. I'm in another situation right now. I cannot participate." And there was another one. There is another one, which is the guy I mentioned in the community stewards about the question of, can I transfer my impact hours to someone else? That's the second one that he declined. The third one is someone who said, "Oh, sorry, I thought it was for free. I don't have the time for a scholarship. I don't have the time. I don't want. I thought it was for free." And that's it.
Great.
Those are the 3. So we have 5, which is still a short amount of people.
5?
I only
Damn it,
see
that's
4
over
in the list.
1%. But can you tell me the name of the
Yeah, I only
spreadsheet?
see 4 in the list.
I will send it to you
I'll drop
privately.
it.
Okay. TEC curate.
There's only 4. I mean, there was Octopus who couldn't because of the conflict of interest.
6
So
then.
he is decided with his work, right? Why do I only see 4 in here though, Eduardo? Where are the other 2?
Because I haven't updated today the impact hour.
Cool.
And I
Then
got
you-
I got an extra note from the pings, so I have to update it, and yeah, basically. So yeah, they will be 6.
Cool. Okay.
So the other topic on the agenda is the closure date. Tam, we talked about having the closure date on the last community call before the closing of the hatch.
No, we didn't. We said after the hatch closes,
Yeah, sorry.
the next Hatcher outreach would just be like a cool hangout party,
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
right? I think like the hatch closes and then that last Hatcher outreach is like we all come, hang out, have some wine, do whatever, things like just talk and just be like social and like make it nice and fun for us. Invite other people, invite anyone who wants to come. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
It
Hatch.
is.
The hatch celebration.
Oh, sorry. So this is the closing document. If you wanna open it, my computer is so slow that I cannot open documents. That's why I cannot share screen.
No problem.
So
Hatch outreach.
I don't know if you have taken a look at this, Griff, but it's just basically a document based on the initial manifesto and the things that we can learn from. I took some notes from Tam and make some changes. Basically, it's like and then I added your suggestion, Tam, and I added these things called "What is next," which is like a suggestion made by Septimus actually on the transparency call. He mentioned that it will be nice to know what things will be, what is the like legacy or things that needs to be kind of suggestion to keep doing. So yeah, it's just that document it's finished from my side. So if anyone wants to add feedback to it, there is a link, and it's more than welcome to take a look at it and add a feedback. And then I will do that after feedback. Then I will submit it to SoftGov to see, since SoftGov is SoftGov, they will probably the ones who will do the last checking of the document. And that's it.
Very cool. Well, I assume, but I kind of assume that you might want to add stuff to it after Paris and stuff, right?
Yeah.
That'll just be a real
Well-
interesting like in-person Hatcher outreach experience that I hope would be added to the mix. I don't know.
Can you explain a little bit further that idea?
Well, I mean, Hatcher outreach isn't done until the hatch is done. So I assume that there'll be more lessons learned and more things that open up and get closed and I don't know, I think it's great to have this document ready to go because we're hatching so soon, but at the same time, like the Hatcher outreach isn't really closed until and then we're gonna do in-person Hatcher outreach. Like
That, sorry. No, that's exactly what you said. It's something that I didn't thought of until now. Do we have scouts? Like, will we also scouting projects in ETC, or like it could be quite interesting to do some kind of sessions with people that you think or that we think is interesting in ETC, to have some outreach to very specific people, handpick people or projects handpicked, that we can sort of schedule some things. Yeah, that could be really interesting.
Yeah. And hatchers too. I mean, I hope we have some major hatcher onboarding events where it's like, hey, who wants to bring your laptop, let's buy into the TEC together. Maybe not, but at least show people how easy it is. And
yeah, I didn't thought I would see our working group be alive in real life, but yeah, yeah, I think that's a very good idea, and I didn't thought of it. So yeah, and I think this is something that we should, for scouts, it could be really nice. It could be really nice. I imagine like closing Hatch Outreach in Paris, and at the same time opening scouts in Paris. This idea of one switching to the other one because it's what will happen probably. But anyways, I'm ranting, so never mind me.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna all have our TEC swag, like Tam is showing off, and I'm so jealous. Why am I wearing this dye crap? What is that? But we'll all be walking around in TEC swag, and maybe we hold an event where we talk about the token engineering commons. Maybe we have an event planner. So she's first she's trying to figure out how we all get there, what borders we need to sneak through and all these things. But then, hopefully by the end of this week, that will be relatively sorted, and we'll go more towards actually planning events. And maybe we should have a TEC hatch event of some sort.
A real life params party.
Oh yeah, we could start to play with the your economy, your choice, and show off the commons dashboard, at least what we have.
Yeah,
we are we're very close. I would say we're 2 weeks away from having our first prototype. The specs are done, and now it's now it's just Marco going to work. So we'll definitely have stuff that people can click by Paris.
Nice. What do you think, Tam, about this?
It sounds like a lot of fun, actually. It's I think once we get the logistics of what we're doing, where we'll be staying, and what's available in terms of what we have, I think it's a good idea. Yeah, I think we do it. I think it'll happen naturally, right? It's going to happen. Some of me feels like this is going to be mostly spontaneous versus planned, but it might be worth us also putting in here we're carving out time, maybe the day after, to invite people to a TEC, get to know what the TEC is or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. Is that shaping up in the plans for Paris?
Yeah, I think there's two directions that need to be covered. Hey, external public, we're doing a 30-day sale, and you need to buy. You need to get in here, throw your RefDex die. Oh, you don't have a RefDex die? Let's help you get some. Okay, let's hands-on support, human to human. Wow, they're real people in the TEC. Wow, look at this swarm of this DAO that is there, you know, interacting with the people of FCC. And then there's the other side, which is, hey, we're all there. Let's keep the external people out and do like an unconference sort of thing where we plan the agenda together and have a full day. After the conference, one or 2 days after the conference, just have a full day dedicated to like, what the fuck are we gonna do? Wait, oh shit, this is real. What do we do now? And kind of like plan that out internally. And so, but we for sure gotta do some sort of external event, you know, buy some food and have everyone come to our hotel, or like the lobby of our hotel, or wherever we end up finding a good spot where we can all be there, and like help people do a presentation on the TEC, maybe a quick like of every working group or something, and then help people get into the hatch.
Nice. Nate, Septimus, do you guys have some feedback or anything you want to contribute to this?
No,
Yeah,
seems pretty good.
yeah, I don't have nothing to add in this topic too.
And
Like-
I know Chewy really wanted to get B-roll footage as well, and just get some film crews or whatever. Not crew, but have a couple people going around with decent cameras, like getting like background knowledge of us talking to famous crypto people in our TEC swag, you know, and that kind of stuff. So it'll be useful for a long time that we can use this content.
I'll definitely bring my camera.
Yeah, nice.
Thank
you. Been waiting to put that thing to use.
Epic.
All right. So shall we pass to the last point of the agenda, the Hatcher Handbook? So let me open it. Okay, so is this do we have a different? We are seeing different things. Let me open it again.
Yeah, sorry, I hijacked the handbook and just started my own document, so my apologies on that.
No, yours looks way cleaner than mine, so don't worry. We are using two documents. It's fine. We can put it together. We can stay
Okay.
we can stay with me with Nate, and then we go back to mine because mines are at the end the changes, and it's small changes.
Okay. Nate, do you want to present it?
Yeah, so I'll just kind of try to do my best to get a kind of a Hatcher checklist and then follow the outline through the Hatcher checklist. It's been modified multiple times over and over again to the point where I just wanted to make sure it made sense from the Hatcher's point of view. And so basically we go through like how to create a Web3 wallet, how to apply through the trusted seed, activating your membership, applying for a scholarship, including all the legal documents that are important. And then just simple things like how to get wrapped XDAI, how to transfer to the XDAI network, and so on. And then reviewing the Hatch process and going over the parameters and how to get engaged and how to donate to the Hatch, and then how to get engaged with the Commons upgrade. And at the end, I wanted to add additional resources and contact information so that when it does come to the time that they want to interact with the Hatch page, that they have somebody to contact if something goes wrong, whatever it may happen. So that's basically the approach. There are some aspects of the parameters that, I didn't want to bog it down with maximum target goal and all that good stuff. So I wanted to highlight the parameters that are the most important. And one of the big aspects of that was, should we include
I think we lost you for a minute. We lost you in audio.
Yeah, we lost you, Nate.
needed?
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
went out. Should we include? And then you went out.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, should we include anything associated with the impact hours? I just don't think interaction with the actual hatch, all the information to have, but I feel like they could find that on the Git book or wherever else they want to find it. So
I think what if you want to mention anything, you mention it in the idea of like, oh, if once we hit the, you know, that the more money we raise, the smaller the percent is that goes to builders. Or that like this aligned incentives with the team. It might be too complicated for sure, but like if I don't think we need to mention the word impact hours, for instance, but maybe the total supply that goes to builders, like to the team that built this, and how that works. If I don't know if it needs to be included, but it could be. It could just be a chart.
I talk a little bit on the rage quit about this. Like the more money we raise, the more the bakers can rage quit.
Yeah, I was going to include that Zepti within this. I haven't done the rage quit yet because I just wanted to make sure that, in terms of the rage quit percentage, I was kind of confused on like what information I should be providing because I know that there is a range of the rage quit percentage, and that depends on the hatch tribute percentage and the percent held by builders versus backers and so on. But what kind of range should we include, and what how is it best to illustrate that to the hatcher?
I think a table. That table that's in 83, that just shows like the total supply for builders, the rage quit percent. You could just copy that.
Okay, yeah.
I think a table shows it off the best. Probably better than words do.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think there is something that we should do like just a refinement of the things that demands sort of an action from the hatcher, and if you want, Nate, we can do another session of kind of narrowing down information a little bit to filtered in a more precise way, I believe, if that's the correct word. But yeah, this is a good direction for me, the layout. I will cut down certain things like the membership app. That text I feel is way too long. But yeah, besides that, the rest is technical aspect that they need to know, probably in a more applicable explanation, in a sense of how they can.
Yeah, please edit the crap out of this. So I get too wordy, and so I just it's always good to have somebody to come in there and just chop it up a bit. But it did bring up a point that I think Tam and I talked about before, and how a lot of the information that I sourced this from was on our Git book, and how it's kind of it needs to be updated. There are a lot of kind of terminology that is kind of misleading and things like that. So it would be good to use this final product to kind of update the Git book to match.
Yeah, we actually found this. I sent this to a week ago, where this guy sent me a message saying, "Hey, but I thought that the membership fee was 100 DAI, because in one of the Medium articles, doesn't say the amount of, no, doesn't say 450 DAI. It says 100 DAI for whatever reason it is, as an example. And he believed that that example was the fee that he had to pay. And so it's for me, it's what exactly you said, Nate. This is a good process to sort of refine the other things and check that everything is aligned if possible, so we don't find incongruences in between documentation.
So I think this is fantastic. I love the checklist, and I think it has all the right information. And I would say, the thing that we noticed was the updates to some of the text that now we can actually sort of like perfect here and then copy back to GitHub, to Gitbook, just to update Gitbook so that it's more up to date with the information we have now. So I think that would be really helpful. And I guess the one thing I want to say is I'm visioning this as part of Gitbook. Like the Hatcher checklist is Gitbook, and then the creating the Web3 wallet is its, its thing, right? And then all of this thing that's already the trusted seed that's already in Gitbook, it just sort of like can take you around Gitbook from the hatcher's perspective, right? Like, you're a hatcher, here's our checklist, and here's more information about each of these items on the checklist. I'm not necessarily seeing this as like its own document or a PDF or its own website page or something, but more like well integrated into our Gitbook. Is that sort of the same vision?
Yes, and also I will create, like, I will have a resulting PDF that summarizes this information, like that has this like the same thing you mentioned is correct. Just as a final result of this process, I will have a PDF ready to send, basically, in case yeah, I don't know how to explain it
A
better.
PDF instead of a link?
No, I will have the link, and the link for me, it's like a constant thing that works perfectly, and the Gitbook work perfectly. Probably then I will work out on a front page kind of appealing, because what happens with the Gitbook is that people get lost in the Gitbook. And that's the feedback I received when I sent the Gitbook. We were like, oh yeah, but what is this? And they specifically asked for something out of laziness, out of whatever reason there is. So either we sort of filter the Gitbook in a way that it's we have this checklist, for example, in the front page or something. But I would like to have an end result it's easy to sort of get into it and not complicated, or with a lot of phrases that you do not understand. You know what I mean? So, sorry.
I do agree with that.
I'm not totally following though. But so we would have it in two places now. We would have it here as like Hatcher, like the Hatcher handbook as part of Hatcher 101, right? And the Hatcher handbook would be this part specifically, the checklist. And then how do these specific parameters apply to each Hatcher? Right? And then all of this other stuff that's in this document now is actually stuff that's already in our Gitbook, right?
Correct. The idea it's basically to have this. I see now there are three things as a result of this process. The first one is the refinement of the information. Could be Gitbook, could be forum, whatever it is. But we have a refinement process now that we have all the information. We can check it. That's one result. The second result is having the Gitbook updated and accessible for everyone, in the sense of you will have a front page or a checklist or getting ready you to hatch, basically. And the third result that I see, it's just a simple PDF or a simple front page. I don't know how you want to call it, but a PDF or something that's basically I can send in a message that people doesn't have to go to a website to then click on all stuff and then click on stuff. It's just a single document that I can send when I first week of the hatch, that I can send like, hey, this is a PDF. The same way you have the deck, the TEC deck, something like that. That is just to send away and say in the Telegram, hey, this is just check this. And these are the three results I see from this process. But maybe I'm wrong, so I'm open to any.
Yeah, no, I just, one of the things that we keep coming across is like when we go away from like the single source of truth and we go to like, hey, we're going to copy this content in multiple places. Then when we need to update one small thing, it's like, oh, but did you get it here? Or did you get it like, then we're like chasing down all the places we had to update that data. So I'm like a big fan of like, we have one single source of truth, and either it's Gitbook or it's not. Maybe it's a document, a Word doc on Google Docs or whatever. Maybe that's what it ends up being. And we just like, if we need to edit it, we edit it once, and then everyone knows where to go to get the latest information. So I'm going to be agnostic on, I think Gitbook is probably the better platform to use, but I'll be agnostic on how we end up deciding what the single source of truth is. But I would just encourage us to have one place where this is where we keep the information.
Okay, I hear you. All right. Nate, do you have any other feedback on this? Or Griff, or
Yeah, I think Gitbook is where it should be happening. with that being said, I do think that you're right, Eduardo. That's when I go to the TEC handbook, it is a little bit disorienting. We have a lot of repetition in different contexts, and it gets kind of I don't know. It's just not as precise as I think we want it to be. And so, yeah, I don't know.
Maybe
It just needs some work.
Can I just
Maybe, yeah. I think we need just a perspective, like a user journey for the handbook, right? Someone comes in, what's the first information we give them? Okay, what makes them want to go deeper? How do we get them to go deeper? And take it from like, instead of just trying to get all the content in there and organize the content, think about the human that has to come in and read it and where they want to go first.
Yeah. And that's the basic core of the document, and that is what it should be, the basic core of the document, which is basically, in the example of the parameters, is like how these parameters affect you. And that question is, for me, the core kind of this document. In general terms, how this hatch affects me, benefits me, or works for me, or doesn't work for me. I don't know. But this is we should respond to these questions on this document.
Yeah, I also see like the Gitbook like this place the single point of truth, like, but I think there also can be other documents. Like I was seeing like this Hatcher handbooks, like something, like you're speaking to someone and you just send this document so they read it, and it's like helping the Hatcher, but like the more detail it's on the Gitbook and on the forum. But this is just something. I mean, that's how at least I was understanding it when I was writing. Like it's something like you give to specific people to getting started, but then like the more detail it's on the forums or on the Gitbook.
Yeah, in the short term, I think this should be a high priority for us in terms of just organizing this Gitbook and making sure that the content that we have is there. I mean, Griff, do you have any like a good approach or process to developing that kind of user experience guide?
Man, it sucks. Marco is so packed, but he's my go-to for these things. He has someone, a minion. Marco has 4 minions now, and so he has got one that specifically works on user journey. But that's that is usually for like, yeah, I think he could map it out, like, and it's really like a Miro board kind of a thing. You go in there and you're like, hey, I'm a new user. What do I want to know? Who am I? What is my archetype? I'm a hatcher. I'm a builder with impact hours. Like what do I want to go to this website, and who are the archetypes that are going to approach? And then, okay, now we identify these archetypes. Now, when they come to this, are they going to be satisfied? Do we care if they're satisfied? Maybe the builders we don't care about. Maybe we just like, all we care about are the hatchers. Okay. Or maybe all we care about is the builders. I don't know. Like, we have to make these decisions, but then when the hatcher comes in, what questions do they ask first, right? And then are those answers there? What questions do we want them to ask, right? And then where do we want to steer them? And how do we make sure, like, where do we want them to end? Like, we should probably have links to the hatch, like, all over the fucking place in that document, at least, or whatever. Maybe the Gitbook's purpose is to be the handbook for the TEC, and we should accept that we want to just repurpose the content, and maybe we can make a second thing that links to the content. Maybe it's a website that is feeding the content from there, autofilling the content from there. I don't know. But I think the first thing is, what is the problem we're trying to solve? Who are we trying to solve it for? And then building the journey that solves their problem.
I think you made a very interesting point of the Gitbook is for the TEC, and then we are talking about the hatcher here, not necessarily explaining the entire TEC. and all the working groups and so on. But yeah, I don't know. We will get to this document. We will manage to put it out, and so we will still work on this, and we will get to a nice point. So
yeah, just to circle around on what Griff said, it's really true that the visibility of our information is it's difficult, right? And it's something that I think we are hopefully going to get better at. But it's, Discord's impossible to follow. Discourse we're getting a lot better with. The website is a placeholder for how to join our Discord and Telegram and this kind of stuff. So it's sort of like the Git book was sort of like, this is where we're putting some information, like some meaty stuff that people can learn about the TEC from any perspective, internal, and Hatcher would be an internal TEC person, but external as well. And it's not necessarily pre-designed. It's more we put things up and we're using them as they can be used, and that a more thorough approach for how people find information about the TEC and the user experience of absorbing that information is something that could be very interesting for us to undertake, which means like, hey, this is way bigger than Gitbook. This is like, how does anyone go from like search term to where we want them to be? That's, I think, something we've always not really nailed because we've just been building decentralized apps, right? Like we're in Web3, so Web2 is not, yeah. But yeah, I think it's a good conversation to start having now that we're hitting a time in our maturity where now other people are searching for information about TEC. But I think we can close the subject on the Hatcher handbook. And it sounds like Nate, you have it well under control, and Eduardo, you have very good suggestions to help.
yeah, and here I am thinking that this was a short call today. Guess it was not. I don't know if anyone else have something else to add to the agenda. Hello, Craig. I didn't say hello, so hello to you. Does anyone wants to add something or say something in the last 5 minutes we have?
I just want to ask, like, if there is anything else like we need to write on the handbook, or are all the checklists complete? Just sync with Nate, actually.
Yeah, you can message me. There are some things that we need to get down, and hopefully, like Eduardo, if you want to go in there and just hack away at it and like just chop my words down and coherent sentences, so that'd be great.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we sync and we split the work.
Sounds good.
Hi, everybody. Sorry I missed basically the whole call, such is life, but if I need anything, or if anybody needs anything from me, just hit me directly. Nice to see you all.
Will do, Craig.
All right.
Hear you.
No, sorry.
Oh, I just said nice to hear you, Craig.
All right. If no one else has nothing else to add, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thanks everyone for coming and joining this call, and